And good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 151 of New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. I'm Garry Redmond, one of your hosts for this evening. Well, message received, right? Went down to Philadelphia, got our faces kicked in by the Union once again, and now you want to make that now 0-8-4 against our Philadelphia rivals. We're going to be able to discuss this and how everything went wrong within the first 10 minutes of the match. Something that a lot of folks are going to be very upset about. Of course, we have a very busy week, as you know. On Wednesday, New York Red Bulls take on New England Revolution. It's going to be Red's birthday. Hopefully, there'll be something to celebrate about. And then on Friday, which is probably going to be the main event, New York Red Bulls take on Inter Miami FC. Messi and all his crew will be evading the cathedral on that day. I'm sure there'll be a spectacle where there's going to be very few Red Bull fans and a whole lot of people wearing pink. So be prepared for that once again. Of course, we're going to talk, and we'll also talk about New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC. They took on Toronto FC 2 and did pretty well. There was a real nasty goal down at the death. We're going to talk about that and how they continue on the top of the standings in the Eastern Conference of MLS Next Pro. Of course, as always, right now, our live stream is going on even as we speak. And if you happen to miss it, don't sweat it, because the rebroadcast will be available on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have x.com, formerly Twitter, and of course our home from the very beginning, which is Spotify.com. And don't forget, all of our episodes happen pretty much the next day. They're going to be uploaded for your listening and viewing pleasure. And of course, as always, if you have any questions about the show as well, about our guests, about our lineup, about what the topics or everything else, do feel free to drop us an email. It's RBDG the podcast at gmail.com. That's RBDG the podcast at gmail.com. We've been getting a lot of your emails, of course. We're definitely going to read them on air. So, feel free to drop a line and let us know how you think. And basically, let us know how we're doing for as we strive for making this podcast one of the best ones out there. And this is where you guys can come in. But more importantly, I want to wish a very happy birthday to one of our special members out there, Kevin Call. Happy birthday, brother. Hope you're out there enjoying your very special day. Well, it's raining out there. Hopefully when you're dry with family and, of course, friends. Well, Saturday was a debacle. Let's not sugarcoat it, okay? We were expecting a little bit better from the boys. Didn't happen. And to bring that online and everything else, I'm going to bring in two of the stars of the show, Nicholas Lianos, and of course the coach, Mark Coates. Gentlemen, game aside, how was your weekend?
Oh, Nick learned to swim, I think.
Flooded Chester is not a fun time.
For what I understand, Nick, the parking lots were flooded over there.
Flooded Chester is not a good place to be at. Us and 150 nice supporters that were down there for the Cup game. We were about to kick it off.
My MVPs, by the way, but go ahead.
When we were about to kick it off, they put that announcement on. We do what we do to keep ourselves busy until they call the game. And then they tell us to go to the parking lot. There's no lights to go to the parking lot. You're walking through about calf-high water to get to the parking lot where we're supposed to park at. And all the streets surrounding the stadium are flooded out. Good luck getting home. Find your own way home. No lights, no nothing. Good luck. My 15-minute drive to where my family lives took almost an hour with all the streets.
An hour.
An hour.
And that's trying to get out of the stadium.
Out of the stadium, try to get to the expressway. You couldn't get onto the bridge, what's next to you. That was flooded out. All the water was just cascading down onto that street, and it was just horrible.
Okay, so not only the game, but being at Chester you guys were just simply not. They just did y'all dirty. That's basically what it came down to. They just saw you coming and said, "Oh, you guys again? Oh, we're gonna fix this. Okay, we're gonna make sure you have a very bad time. So next time you don't come back here. Oh, we're gonna be back there. There's gonna be a game, of course, in August. In case you're wondering why why I didn't get in the match was postponed on Wednesday. There it was. It was torrential rain left and right. There was no way that city was going to dodge that storm system because it was huge and it was coming right at you guys. So props if you went there before and went there again. And I'm sure they didn't pump out all of the lots yet. Looks like they didn't. And so you had to wade in and wade out trying to get home. So I'm looking at my window right now, and finally I can able to see the street for about nearly an hour. I didn't see it. That's how much water was coming down here, in the big city. I don't know how it is where you guys are at, but it was raining very hard and everything.
It's no better out here, trust me.
All right, let's talk about, as I say, let's get down to brass tacks.
Friday was a great start to the weekend.
Okay.
We'll talk about the second team later.
Yep.
But that was a great start. It was a wonderful, wonderful little bonus. I love Friday night next Pro Soccer. I wish to God they would bring it back to
that's something
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But Saturday was just I was texting with Nick back and forth. He said, "Oh no," and then I look at his picture and I'm like, "Yeah, you're in trouble, brother," because those were some nasty looking clouds. I looked on the radar. I said, "Dude, you just better head home now." I said, "Go home." I was like, I said, so Wednesday was a washout, and then Saturday was just it was horrible. I mean, I actually turned the game off after the first half. I could not even watch the second half. I watched it yesterday. That's the benefit of being on vacation, I guess. It's sort of like having the time to do some stuff. So I watched it. It was painful. It was very difficult to pick out any good spots. And that's something I know we were discussing in our group chat. The general we suck or we were crap just doesn't cut it. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are being forced to play out of different positions. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of guys who can't seem to stay healthy. It's a revolving door of problems. We get one guy back, another guy goes out. We get one guy comes off suspension, another one goes out on suspension. Our coach gets suspended. This has just been a really rough season.
Yeah.
And then there's no
one of our players get a red card warming up.
Yeah.
Mouthing off at the mouthing off at the ref.
He's not going to be with us next season. All right. There's a reason why he's been with a different team every single year. Because he wears out his welcome rather quickly. He's a bench player. He's not a starting player. We have several of those. I mean, I honestly don't know why Wiki keeps starting. And Anthony said, "Who else are you going to start?" I'm like, I don't know. Go to a high school. Pick somebody up who wants to play.
He signed a contract extension basically to just sit on the bench. But unfortunately, when the guys that are good enough to replace him, they're injured at the moment, not much you can do. I mean, you might as well put a body out there. And unfortunately, to your point, that's all we, that's all we got right now. We got bodies. We ain't got ballers. We got bodies. Okay, this is what this injury bug has done to this team. It's not an excuse. I'm not excusing anybody, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Sandro doesn't use the excuse for injuries and stuff, but at the same time, you've got guys who just aren't
stepping up.
Yeah,
right. They're not.
I mean, and it's you start. Like we mentioned it earlier on. Marcelo Morales. This guy's been with us how long?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that after the minute. Yeah, we're going to talk about that after the break. I'm looking at this. Yeah. I'm looking at the topics that I have here, and
I mean, you don't have. I mean, you do have guys, but like, why?
I got frowny faces on every single one of my points right now. I'm like, man.
And I'm thinking, why have we not brought Kasule up and let this kid play? Yeah, that's one question I don't have an answer to.
Why isn't Gengar getting some run?
Gengar, well, I mean, and it's the honest answer. Anthony's right. Gengar plays better on the right side, and that was the problem having Harper and Gengar. Is the two of them sort of like occupy the same position,
same spot, right?
So if you're going to have one guy play on the other side, he's going to be playing off the wrong foot. Gengar is basically right now the backup on the right side, and he's not starting. I mean, he got to start with Red Bull 2 last week or the week before just to get minutes.
But we're playing Wiki, and his stats have been really bad.
That's why I don't know why we haven't brought somebody up. I mean,
if we're going to this formation that we went to on Saturday, 3-5, 3-5, 3-6-1, that's basically what it was. I'm sure Gengar should get a. Sofu is not a running back. We got to get this straight.
No,
there's not.
No,
and you're killing his ability to blow by you. When you have him running back to defense.
I saw poor Sofo sitting there with the defenders. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, get that kid back up there on top. And that's what they did in the second half. Once he put them up there, things got better. But let's get to, let's. I know a lot of people are asking us, why do we do this? Look, we're contractually obligated to do it. So here is the sad and pitiful,
cover your eyes,
inexcusable match recap between the Red Bulls and the Philadelphia.
For week here in Philadelphia, it has been Soccer City with the Club World Cup going on here in the summer of soccer. But now it's the Union front and center in blue. Wagner, there it was! Cleared off the line, not the second time! It's Indiana!
Like a dime inside this 6. And as it curls, the initial save is fantastic from Carlos Cornell. Reaction time superb, goes to the ground, bodies it out. But where's the marking? Where's the responsibility? Vasilev turns, it's a gift right at his feet. No hesitation. Left foot, back of the net.
Indiana Vasilev's second goal, handpicked by Bradley Carnell. They were together. You can wait many years to get a tap in like that. It just falls to your foot. Here comes Damiani! They need goals from him. They got one.
If you want to get Subaru Park rocking, you get 2 goals in the first 25 minutes against a team. To this match, it's been for Bradley Carnell and company. Down a man as Stroud is still waiting to be played on by the 4th official. Quick combination play, and Damiani, his 4th goal this season, cost $4 million coming over from Nacional. And the 23-year-old, up and over the goalkeeper, finds far post side net.
He has played in every game this 30 minutes in. It's been a cavalcade for Philadelphia. They've been getting a set piece after set piece. Wagner in the middle, almost at the far post. Everything is so hard for New York Red Bulls.
It's the first balls and second balls. Consistently, Philadelphia Union winning everything.
Vasilev hits the stanchion after the step over by Damiani. Bradley Carnell telling us about how competitive the East is. As there's a good shot from distance, just sails over for Carmona. Says it should be a corner. Rare set piece opportunity and a chance for Emil Forsberg, who has been marked out of this game until now. Has goals in back-to-back games. That is a teardrop in front. Nealis got some of it. They took residence here on the banks of the Delaware. Good cut. Gets through for Jean-Jacques. Desperate defending here. Jean-Jacques! Whoa.
Maxie, he caught all this.
Baby bouncies?
Yes.
That one from Carmona. Not a bad-looking shot, but ambitious. Left it a little bit short. Olivas! The moment has come! Olivas! Not today, says Carlos Coronel, kid.
Too soon for Carlos Coronel. Alejandro Bedoya tireless with the touch and judged to have been in an onside position, assuming it's hack. But from that distance, that angle is going to take something very special to beat Carlos Coronel. Stays as big as possible.
It means a lot to them. This is their #1 rivalry. As we showed you the pregame, the burning of the bull. We love our new traditions. Jean-Jacques, Bedoya, Raffanello. 8 appearances for the New Jersey native. He drives it. It's a really fun final.
As Enzo Maresca mimic what Vincent Kompany and Bayern Munich did, were stifling and frustrating in a way we hadn't seen in the tournament.
Well, this season will not end well. Olivas. Advantage play. That's the end of the game. Philadelphia continue their dominance over the Red Bulls. Tech over another game. They've not lost since 2019.
I mean, how can you possibly defend this? You can't. You can't defend this. It was just a blatant, terrible 45 minutes, if you want to call it that. But for the entire game, the boys just simply look asleep out there. Thank goodness this wasn't a U.S. Open Cup game, because they would have been hearing it from the fans even louder. And Nick, you were there, and I'm sure your adjectives to this, for the crew and everything. You had low marks all the way around. What's the lowest mark that you on the starting lineup that you had for the players?
I believe it was 3. I think it was basically used.
You're gonna make me look.
I didn't really. It was bad all around. No one did anything good. I like Omar when he came on at the end in the second half to start, because he actually was pushing the ball forward. But besides that, no one had the passing real caliber. We couldn't throw any passes together, string any passes together. A couple of dribbles that we did get from Chupo and one from Duncan, where he ran all the way up the sideline. There was no support for either one of those guys. What was the support from our team? You see Chupo running up the sideline, dribbling all the way up the field, no support. Duncan does the same thing, and like 2 minutes later, no support. It was just a train wreck of a performance. I don't know how certain guys still see time after this. But yeah, you can say all the injuries we want, but that left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth. We basically, as we were speaking, are these guys afraid to push the ball forward? There were so many times in that game where Stroud and Edelman had a chance to throw a ball forward to Chupo, and they passed it backwards, leading to another turnover. We got to stop this. Push the ball, guys. But that's not our thing. Is to push the ball forward, and we're not pushing.
Yeah, Mark, you saw a lot of tactical errors in this game.
Well,
I mean,
listen, when you see Chupo having to come back across the midfield stripe, and he's trying to dribble 1-on-2, what's going on? We have no midfield. They had us completely locked down. They kept Forsberg on an island. Couldn't get the ball to him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just and they were more than happy to have Wiki have the ball. Yeah, and I went back. Aside from Sandro getting a 3 on Nick's grading, Wiki got a 3. Stroud gets a 4. Duncan got a 4. Alexander Hack and Noah Ayler both got 4.5s. I mean, that sort of covers why, and Emil got a 4. But it was atrocious. We already mentioned Sofa playing as a wing back is not the answer. That guy needs to be up top. There's no other.
When he was up top in the second half, it got a little better, but Philly made sure he didn't see anything. And anytime he had the ball, there was like maybe one, there was a defender in his pocket, basically saying, "No, kid, you're not. We've seen what you can do with your pace and your speed. You ain't getting past me tonight." I mean, I have to give Philadelphia's defense a lot of credit. They basically locked the Red Bulls down. I mean,
Well,
it's
and
that
that's,
simple.
I mean, that's unfortunately, like, I pregame, I was listening to the radio broadcast, and Matt Harmon always has his counterpart on, and they do a little discussion back and forth. And you talk about what's when you match up with a team that presses just like you do, so you play the same style, similar high pace. How do you combat each other? How do those two things? You can throw a mid block, which is what they did. They were able to keep the midfield just completely locked down.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get a ball through. The
Mm-hmm.
balls over the top weren't getting to the guys they needed to get to because nobody can get. You can't see anybody on this team getting the ball 40 yards and with any level of accuracy. The passes were just horrible.
Did you see
But that's why I said
Yeah.
it was tough to watch the whole game. It really
Hack
was.
Hack was supposed to be the passer that we wanted him to be. He was just throwing the ball aimlessly up the field, just here, take it back. We couldn't string the four passes together to break that press. What we envision ourselves as, Philly did to us. That's what we want to envision ourselves. That was us during our shield years. That's how we were. We were pressing.
Right.
We were all over the place. We were on them. So a different version every week. That game was just looking at our prime years, our shield years, and just looking at it. This is what we used to do to teams. No wonder why they hated us.
I mean, it was. I mean, the team as it is right now is simply not good enough. Okay.
No.
We look at teams in the past where we were much better on the ball. We were much crisper. This was a team that, right from kickoff, they were doing everything from shoving the ball down your throat to being passive. And I'm wondering if that has to do with the coach or with the players. I mean, to your point, Nick, it just did not look like Red Bull football. I mean, Union played Red Bull football, said, okay, we're going to show you what real Red Bull football looks like. And based on that win, they're first in the East, okay, where we're hanging on to eighth place by a thread right now. City is above us by a point, and two other teams are within 2 points. So if the Red Bulls can somehow get things together, they could wind up somewhere between maybe fourth or fifth. But that's an if, a big if they can get it together. They have an opportunity Wednesday night. We're going to talk about that after the break. But this team, this loss exposed the living daylights out of the Red Bull. You got people questioning the coach. You got questioning the organization. You got people questioning, the players. You got people questioning pretty much this system. If Miguel was here, this system. I mean, we can't go from the system to tiki-taka football overnight. It's not going to happen. But as they love to say, you dance with the horse that brought you. That horse brought you four trophies. Okay, so something's amiss.
All right,
Something's wrong.
I have to step in and do what Miguel would do. The three plates are not trophies; they're plates.
Okay.
They're participation trophies.
Okay.
You participated in the regular season and you scored more points than the other teams around. That's all you did. Doesn't really mean anything.
Okay.
So I as nice as it is, it's not a meaningful win.
Hey Marcel, how you doing, man?
But,
I mean,
we're talking about the situation. There was someone that posted up earlier today the fact that we're not winning this in 5 games. We have a loss with 3 draws in between. That's our last 5. So,
and we led 2, and we had 2 games, and both 2 games we had leads in.
Yeah. So is it the players? And I don't want to say Sandro's a horrible coach, but I think there's a question of who he's using and when and where. The formations aren't getting it done. Like that 3 in the back was horrible.
Yeah, enough with the 3 back.
Yeah,
experimentation. Time to go back to the basics.
We don't have 2 great center backs. We have one good, and we have a couple that can fill it. I know Jim Parker wasn't feeling the greatest. That's why he ended up not being available to come off the bench or anything. But we brought him back. It's a little nostalgia. Um, we're not consistent is right. I mean, that's the only thing we're consistent on is being inconsistent.
Right.
We've
What's
you give us a
what's
little-
that tagline like she used against this on this team? We are consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. Well,
We're-
and it's getting to the point where you don't know which team's going to show up.
right.
So, and I think I have to agree with you though that thank God this wasn't the Open Cup game. If we were going to lay an egg, let it be in this game because this is
Where it's business as usual. Business as
yeah,
usual.
like it doesn't mean not that it doesn't mean anything, but it doesn't mean as much. It's not a knockout game. Let's see what we can do. Month from now.
15 games against this.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
We got to break this. This is ridiculous.
the only way to break this is to step the hell up. I mean, this team likes to pride in themselves of saying, next man up. Well, how can you say next man up when your next man isn't as good as the other guy? And when I'm asking, the captain of your team a point blank question, how is it that you guys are pretty good in the training pitch, but when the game starts, it's like you're a car that has you're revving your engines real loud, but you're still at the starting line where the other team just took off, and just way ahead of you before you even moved an inch. I mean, because that's exactly what it looked like on Saturday. The team did not do anything. I mean, they scored on you on set pieces. Once again, set piece defending has been a nightmare. I mean, it's almost like fans have to hold their breath whenever whenever the other team wins a corner kick or a free kick, right? It's like, okay, how many maybe this is the time we get to cough up a goal. And dudes just miss, Brian Dunstan says, where is the responsibility? Where is the marking? Who's responsible? How do you let these dudes dance around in the box like that? Coronel was the only person that was able to make a save, but once he was on the ground, he was helpless. There was nothing, nothing to do. And then you have Kyle Duncan doing a 180 just to see the ball go in the net. I mean, that was about as shambolic of set piece defending that I've ever seen. There was a time back in the day we were good at this. We haven't. I mean, and that I look at the coaching staff. I'm like, okay, which one of you guys supposed to be helping out these dudes, with set pieces here? Because it's been shambolic now for 3 seasons, 4 seasons now. This is the basics, guys. This is the basics. What's going on?
We see, like when we get kids in at U12, that's when we start teaching them really how to take a corner, how to defend a corner, and the first thing you have to be on somebody. The zonal marking doesn't work. You have to have man-to-man coverage, and if you see guys pushing and shoving in the box, well, they're going to foul you 9 times out of 10. So take the foul, they diffuse their possible situation. But our team, it just doesn't seem to be. I don't know where they're coming from, and why they can't defend on these things.
Look at that first goal. Duncan is outnumbered 3-1.
Yeah. 3-1.
3-1. How is he going to do anything? What's he supposed to do? Who's he going to mark? There's one guy in front of him, Indiana Vasquez, who scored the goal. The guy he's marking, who's basically grabbing to hold him, to try to hold him up. And so forth, got 2 people in front of him. That's 5 on 2. Where's the rest of the guys?
Yeah, where the rest of them? That's those who was referring to. I saw the goal in real time. I was like, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys blocked off, but I see other guys free. You're not providing any coverage.
When we start,
there and watch.
Or at least trying to get the ball out once it was initially saved.
Yeah.
He just sat there for maybe about a minute.
He did. He watched the ball go round and around him the whole time, but he has three guys standing there. So, you know,
I don't blame Duncan as much as that though. That was just the fact that they found something on us on tape.
We suck on set pieces.
That's basically.
This is the part where this is the part where you sit the team down, all your defenders and everybody else, and go, "This is you." Okay, this is you. I mean, this is how they housed you. Okay, and until further notice, you guys are owned by the Philadelphia Union. There's just no way to sugarcoat this. I'm sorry. You went in there, they took your hat, your coat, your keys, and everything else, okay, and left you naked in the rain. That's basically it. And they're going to continue to do this until you find a way to beat them. Because I'm sure the kids out in the South Yard, they're sick of hearing Philly fans cheering loud by the end of the game. Okay? They're sick of this. The Union own you right now. They own you. And before we go into, before we go into the next segment, okay, I just want to offer an apology. That's right. I'm going to give somebody an apology. One of our wonderful members posted a question, and her name, of course, is Gina Corneglio Hamilton. How you doing? What can we do to possibly turn this around? And I responded, guys, and just left it at that. I mean, I want to apologize just in case that to Gina, directly, that if I sounded mean or disrespectful. I wasn't. And what I mean by we as the fan base, we as you supporters, don't have to do a thing. This isn't on you. You're doing everything you can to support this team. You're making the trips. You're buying the tickets. You're showing up with your friends and family at the cathedral. This loss and losses before then, this season, the season before then, not on you. As I said this before, this is on the organization. This is on the players. This is on the coach. They have to earn this. They have to show up. And now they did late last year when they made that incredible run all the way to the final. We had a good time then, right? Till it ended on that game. And, of course, now we're back to business as usual. But overall, Gina, let's face it, we didn't give up 2 goals in 10 minutes on Saturday. We are not looking at this team with basically, we're not in the stretch at the moment since May 31st. You know who we beat on May 31st? Atlanta. Since then, this team has gone no wins, 2 losses, 3 ties. Okay? That's 3 points. So you earned 3 points during that stretch. You gave up 8 goals. You only scored 5 during that stretch. That's not enough. Okay? Traditionally, we seem to be doing bad during the summer seasons. Okay? Where other teams get hot, we somehow either get lukewarm or cold. Now, we have 2 opportunities to make this right. Okay? One of them, of course, New England. We owe them. Remember that wonderful game we had that up in Foxborough? That a team that hasn't won a game, we gave them a win. Game a win. That's how we knew we had problems on the road. Okay, we seem to wilt, melt, be flaccid, play scared on the road. I'm not saying that we have to beat everybody, on the road. We're doing great at home, but when it comes to my expectations, good teams win at home. They do. In any sport, good teams win at home. Great teams win, period. Now, you're supposed to defend the Eastern Conference title. I don't see you defending it. No, that's me. Sorry.
I'm on vacation. They can't get a hold of me.
So that's how it is right now. So until further notice, the Union owns us. Sorry, boys and girls. That's how it is. Now, the good news is they're coming here soon. hopefully, this team get their manhood together and start producing wins. And to Lisa, you're right. You can't just win at home. Can't do it, and then lose every game. Lose every game on the road. Can't happen. Because eventually, even if you do make the playoffs, and there's a big if at this point, you got to go on the road. And what you gonna do? Grab the bed there? Come on. I mean, something's got to change. I agree with you, Nick, Mark. Something's got to change. Something's got to give. No excuses for this crew. Okay. I'm hearing stories from many members in the group saying maybe the coaches lost it, the locker room, lost the players. I don't think so. This is a tight knit crew, but something has to change. Okay, I'm looking at these guys, and they don't have an answer. They really don't have an answer. So, if the coach has something in mind to snap some reality in this crew, let's see if he's got it before we start making any judgments. So we're going to take ourselves a break from all this. We're going to just forget this because, after all, 2 days from now, we're back at the Cathedral versus New England. And this is where Nick is going to tell you the busy week that's ahead for the Red Bulls. First New England, then Miami. But first, final scores on week 24 of Major League Soccer. Well, Wednesday night is a wonderful Wednesday. I mean, one of the things I don't like, Nick, I don't like Wednesday night games this early in the season. Maybe after the All-Star break, then you can do that. But, nah. I mean, I know there was a lot.
After the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's the reason why they're doing this, so I understand that. But first things first, I don't know if anyone else will call it, but at least I'm calling it, Nick. I'm calling it a revenge game, okay? Payback time, okay? You're okay at home, okay? But since we gave those boys that win, here's the thing that drives me nuts, okay? Mark, you ready for this? New England hasn't won a lot of games since then. It's like we gave these dudes a win, and they were supposed to rocket up the stratosphere as far as conference is concerned. Nope, didn't happen. They're below us in the standings, which kind of excites the fans, but at the same time scares the hell out of me. Why? Because we don't do so well against teams below us. Nick, you have the floor.
All right, New England. They're 11th place in the Eastern Conference with 25 points, 6 wins, 8 losses, 7 draws. The last win was May 5th versus Toronto. Since then, they've gone 10 games, 0 wins, 4 losses, 6 draws. They still have that KG veteran, Carlos Gil, still on the team. Don't give that guy a set piece because he'll kill you. 8 goals, 7 assists. Haven't you figured this out yet, guys? They gave him 2, and that's where we lost. Thomas Chancellay is back from injury. He has 2 goals and 1 assist. Leo Campagna, their big import from Miami, has 2 goals in an injury-plagued year. And
the guy that I wanted for us, by the way.
And Luca Lagoni, the guy that ran around circles around Hack in the first game, has 1 goal and 1 assist. Those are the main players. Alex Bono, the goalie, their starting goalie, is questionable for this game with an injury. So they have been bad as of late. The last one, as we said, was against Toronto. They've lost to Miami, lost to Nashville. They've lost. They lost to Nashville. They lost to Cincinnati, and they've gotten draws at Austin, Orlando. But then they're the usual thing. They can't score. They're not scoring any goals. Besides Carlos Gil, no one else has more than 2 goals. Carlos Gil is their engine. Check him out, and they don't win. That's what.
Okay, so let me see if I get this straight. Before we played these guys, right?
The same thing.
They didn't have a win, right? They couldn't score. after we played these guys, they couldn't win. They couldn't score except
Well,
against us.
they did win a few games.
They
You
did.
know,
They got on that streak right afterward. They
yeah,
won
four or five.
Then
But you see what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, with the spark.
I mean, we were the spark that gave them life, and then they went back to normal. I mean,
this is
it's not like nobody expected them to be in the top four, but
they weren't expected to be in the play. They weren't predicted to be in the playoffs. They didn't know what you're going to get from this team because of all the turnover. Remember, they just rerouted the whole entire team to out to San Jose. The San Jose gave them half their roster. So it was the fun 12-player deal swap out where our old coach took everybody. So he took the guys that he wanted. So listen, New England is struggling. They have scored on the season a massive 26 goals in 21 games.
that's it.
They've conceded. One thing is a good thing is they only conceded 25. They don't allow much. So it's going to be an ugly. It's going to be an ugly game. They're going to slow this thing down. They want to play the game slow.
Like they did the last time. They pretty much
They're going to
locked up all your speeders. They made
They're
sure that
gonna-
no, you ain't putting by us, you ain't getting by us, and you, this guy, right? No, Sofo, no, we're gonna lock you up too. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah, they're going to muck this thing up as much as they can because they don't know what they're going to get in goal because their number one guy is still injured. He might be back for this, and they don't score enough to get into a shootout. They got into
It's
a
not that they
shootout.
don't score, Nick. You're saying they don't score enough.
Score period. So I would say that should be score period because against New England, against Miami they got one. Austin last week 0. Against Portland they got 1. They got into a 3-3 game with New England. That's the best output of the day. But then they've lost to Cincinnati, Nashville, DC. They went to a 1-1 draw. 0-0 against San Jose. Orlando 3-3 game. That's basically that's their season. Besides that 5-game streak between us, Atlanta, they beat the Smurfs twice. I don't know how they did that either. So,
They do have a
Mark,
better
they-
record on the road than they do at home. Which
That's
is,
the thing. Yeah,
That's like just mind-boggling. They have only 2 wins at home. 4 of their 6 wins have come on the road. So, it's an interesting. We saw quite an interesting game when we played them. We don't do well up there. We don't do well in Philly. Those seem to be our 2 most
Foxborough, Foxborough,
least-
Chester. That
our
they're
least
hellholes.
favorite places to go. I'd like to think that the results that happened on Saturday are going to affect how these guys come out on Wednesday, and we see the team that we hope to see, because we have seen this team play well, and they did actually put 90 minutes together once this year. So does that become our own catalyst of we're not doing this anymore, and we start seeing guys step up? Do we see anybody come up from the other team? And this was something that everybody talks about. Oh, we don't like seeing the why don't we sign bigger names and this. We have quality guys on the second team. The question is, do they make the transition up to the first team? Now, obviously, Sofo's done well. Valencia's done well this year. So I think it was a difference of
Doncor before he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, he's still coming back. He's not 100%, but he's been playing, and when he's played well. He's played better than Stroud in my estimation, and it's another one of those things. The coach is ultimately the one. He sees what he sees on the field. He decides who's going to be starting the games. My only question is, what is he looking at when he's looking at Wiki? I don't know what he sees on the training field, because it doesn't convert over to when he's playing on the field in the game. It doesn't. Nick mentioned, I think he has 1 assist for the entire season.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I like to ask him a question. Okay, what happened to the Wiki that what happened to Wiki that was from last year? And what did you do with him?
Yeah,
Because he was a lot more effective last season than this season.
Playing on the
Okay.
right, he was much more effective.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. He's out of position. I mean,
No,
at least to me. I mean,
he is left-footed, so he should be able to play the left side. Yeah, the
But
thing is,
he slowed to pull the trigger on that pass to from Chupo to him in the box, and he was like, "Dude, how long is it going to take you to wind up and shoot the ball?"
yeah, that's what Chupa was like. Shoot,
yeah.
shoot. I actually saw, and then when he couldn't pull the trigger,
Yeah,
Chupo gave him a look like, dude,
yeah. Like, what were you waiting for?
what are you waiting for?
I-
Pull
we
the
were-
trigger.
We were sitting in the back row looking at this, we're like, "He's not going to get the shot out. He's not going to get the shot out."
Right. I mean, I mean, I've heard of players getting the yips, right? But come on,
Game.
right? I'm like, come on. I mean, when one of your main guns, okay, is either you pass the ball, you shoot the ball. Well, okay, you got the ball. I will never forget the glance he gave Wiki. He just like, come on, come on, bruh. I mean, you were there. I mean, come on, you were there. Come on, make the shot. I mean, I'm sure what bothers me a little bit. A lot of these veterans from guys from the Bundesliga, like Chupo and Email and Hack to a degree. Hack, you never know what you're going to get from Hack. But what scares me about Hack is he's a step and a half slow. Any able-bodied forward is going to blow by him, and it has happened. Okay, it has happened, and causing Sandro to experiment with what kind of center defender pairing I'm going to have. The only constant that we see right now is Noah. That's it. Okay, we don't see Sean. I mean, we don't see Sean almost every game. We don't even see Tim. Has anybody seen Tim Parker? We haven't seen Tim Parker since the U.S. Open Cup game, which he did really well because the game was in front of him. But during the regular season, it's a bit on the slow side. Okay, as long as they don't have pacey forwards up front, this is where you start. This is where you start Tim Parker. But tactically, Mark, I mean, we talk about how this team, starts slow and and stuff like that. But you as a coach, what are the one thing that disturbs you the most during this stretch, man?
I think a lot of it has to do with, there's just a lot of stuff they're not doing right. We're not defending. Our passing is miserable. Second balls it's killing me. Watching
Right,
these guys.
they're getting
They can't
owned on
get-
second
yeah.
balls, Mark. I mean,
It's I've never seen our team play this poorly over a stretch when it comes to getting after second balls. Like, our guys are normally right up on people. These guys are backing off. They're not.
right.
Guys run past them. It's I just are
They
they
don't engage, and if they lose the
yeah.
ball, they're slow with the tracking
Yeah.
and getting that ball back. I remember back even when now of course now he's out of a job. I remember
I already know where you're going with it.
yeah, even when he was the head coach, right? You lose the ball, they went right back and got that ball
Yeah.
back. That's Red Bull football.
Listen,
okay.
Troy got dealt a bad hand having to take over this team from Struber. And then he took the job in DC because they were the only ones offering a head coaching job.
Right.
He did what he
And
could.
DC's
with what
a
he had
mess.
there.
DC's been a mess for God knows how long.
But yet they still managed to do damage to us. So it leads you to wonder, is it our guys that just aren't getting the job done? Because that's basically what it boils down to. I think part of it too is the coaching. It's the questionable decisions on formations. You had five guys. They said midfield. It was more like 7. And you just had Chupo on an island. But 7 guys basically just wandering around. You had 6 midfielders. Nobody knew where they were supposed to go. like I said, I did not understand having Sofo as a wing back. I think we're much better off just stick with the 4-man back. Whether you want to go with a 4-2-3-1, you want to go 4-2-2-2, whatever you feel like putting together with the guys you think you have. But we need a solid back line. You know, yeah, I know we said we were going to talk about this.
Yeah.
There are questions about some of the guys that we brought in. Marcelo Morales has seen very limited time playing with the second team. And we keep hearing about, oh, he's gonna be this, he's gonna do this. He looks like he's a solid kid. Seeing him play limited minutes, but when is he going to come up and play with the first team?
When he gets healthy.
Yeah, well, that's
I asked that. Guys have asked that question. During the media availability. We do know that Dylan Nealis, he'll be available coming off the bench. Okay. Everybody else is everybody else is not quite ready yet. Okay, Lewis, Serge, is day to day. Marcelo, as soon as he's ready, to join us, he will be. But he's got to get over. What they want to do is they want to strengthen him right now because he's such a pivotal piece in that defensive, in the defensive lineup. They don't want to half-ass it like they did to Lewis, because remember when he came on the stage and then one tackle later he was out the stage. I mean, you can't,
Well, that brings up the thing too is, and I know people have been saying it, but it isn't time to move on. I mean, he's played well when he's been healthy, but he's been out more than he's been in.
Well, that just goes to show you how tough the defense is, Mark. In major, it's kind of funny, right, guys? It's kind of funny. We got Euro snobs and everybody else. They laugh at Major League Soccer being soft and whatnot, but yet, dudes are getting straight up hurt. Dudes are getting just like damaged and whatnot because a lot of these defenders that they have are as big as linebackers, right? And when they tackle you, you need to check and see if your knee is still connected to your legs and whatnot. But that's the nature of the beast. My girlfriend was wondering, hey, how come these guys are getting injured during practice? Maybe somebody needs to actually take a look at that. She's like, I can understand you getting injured during the game. That's how it is. But practice? Every time I turn around, one of you guys are getting knocked up during practice? What are y'all doing? What kind of murder ball nonsense are you doing up there during the training pitch? That's what she wants to know. I don't know. No one's afraid to I'm not going to say no one's afraid to ask that question because we all know what the answer is, but that's Red Bull football, okay? But this is why I'm saying, how is a team that's engineered to deal with chaos and high-speed tackles and blah, 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 and once you hit once it's the game time when you're supposed to turn that up in the nth degree, you're MIA. Okay? Fans know how good this team is. They've yet to see it. Okay, you yet to see it. Miami comes in on Saturday, and you all know this.
Well, that's an interesting segue because when you're talking about how tough this league is, you see this individual coming over here, supposedly ready for retirement, and this guy just keeps scoring left and right.
He's schooling people,
but it's not just that. I think there are those moments we've seen where, like, he gets very, very prima donna. He gets up and he gets touched. And he also, like, the other thing, I don't remember which game it was. It was a month or so ago. They tracked.
Say it again, Nick. I didn't quite hear that.
Gifted him $3 too. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. Well, but that's one of those things where, like, you look at, like, the heat trackers that they show. They showed what distance he covered. The dude doesn't even run anymore. He walks, he jogs, he just sort of hangs out and waits.
Yeah, but despite that, once he gets the ball, turns on the juice, and next thing you know, you're on the opposite. You're on the opposite end of a highlight reel. I mean, he can't be that slow.
He's not running for the other minutes when everybody else is. And unfortunately, the referees seem to have that that quick whistle. The second he gets touched, the whistle comes out. He falls down. It's like he doesn't even have to roll around on the grass 2 or 3 times. The second they see him hit the ground, the whistle's going. Sometimes the yellow card is in the air.
Mm.
I mean, we laugh. I mean, going back a few years, Felipe was great at that.
Yeah,
I mean, he would always be in the right position to fall down so that the ref would give us a call.
He was the reason why we had so many free. We had
Oh,
so
yeah.
many.
He was amazing.
He
And
was amazing. He was a pest.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, he was a
people-
that was his game. He
could
was a
not stand
certified pest.
If you watched after games, nobody wanted to go over and say hi to him.
yeah.
They were like,
Maybe that's what I mean. I honestly believe that
we
that's
need one of those. Yeah.
we need one of those guys who is as what my friend who's from Argentina, right? You need one of those ballers who are very diverse in the dark arts of football. What do you mean by the dark arts of football? Someone who knows how to draw fouls and give you guys free kicks and corners. That's what you need. You need a pest. You need a pain in the ass. People love Felipe for that because we also had guys that could score from free kicks. If you remember, they had a set piece game that was silly, and it was set up by Felipe. Felipe would sometimes, flop, whatever the case may be. Sometimes we'll say that, but yet they get set up and scoring chances. We miss that. Fans actually miss that. We haven't had something like that. We haven't had something like that in a long time. We haven't had somebody like Dax being a box-to-box defender in a long time. We haven't had a Tyler Adams in a long time. Okay, the way the Red Bulls play, they're as I said this many years. How strong is their midfield? How strong, how strong on each end is their midfield? Yeah, you got Emil Forsberg up front, but what about the back? I love Daniel Edelman. He gets fouled a lot, but
he's probably on the small side, and I don't mean to make light of his height or anything else.
No,
he gets muscled off the ball because he's not. I mean, I used to love.
I kind of tease him a little bit. Yo, man, hit the gym.
Yeah, like
hit the gym, bro. I'm sick of you. I told him one time, I'm sick of you seeing you getting trucked. I'm sick of you.
He's got to put on a little muscle. But we've got 3 games left till the cash grab. What basically we're looking at, and do we turn it around? Do we get this thing heading back in the right direction?
I think we do.
We have a good opportunity with New England coming in. Someone we probably should beat up. Yes,
said we forgot. I didn't.
We didn't forget.
Every day.
I sold those tickets and made half my ticket money back. Thank you very much, Messi. So it's
My mind, please. Say mine.
yeah, I know. Well, I have a it's a little easier, and then we've got to go to Chicago, all right, and face the goat, the real goat, not Messi. Tommy Barlow.
Well, he's going to score us anyway. All right.
Well, at some point in time, he will.
Right.
It's going to happen.
One last piece of business before we get to our bold predictions. New York Red Bull 2 played against Toronto FC 2. This was a wild one, okay? Amari
Friday night
to 36th.
Friday night.
Mascara to 72nd, and then Tyler Rossborough with a game-saving goal 6 minutes into stoppage time. And then they win, and then of course they win in penalties. This was played over in York Lions Stadium. Why is this game so significant? Because of the current head coach used to ball for Toronto FC, won titles and whatnot. So he went in there and spoiled the fun. Say hi, remember me? And then I'm back, and pretty much did that, did the damage there. From what I understand, folks were not too happy after the loss.
That was a wild game. The first half, I mean, I have to say, less than stellar on defense, but I think our new coach, Mr. Bradley, had some words for the lads in the locker room, and they came out and they were firing on all cylinders. The red card obviously helps, right? Most teams, not our team. All right, but the second team,
They didn't get the red card. It was the other squad.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Normally, Red Bull team goes up a man, and it's usually not. It's not a key to victory. But these guys were just at it. They were after. They got the first one. They did not let up. And listen, Rossborough got. I mean, that corner kick. That was the last play of regulation.
Yeah. At the death, the very last play.
And it was like, I'm watching, and I'm like, when I saw him, I was like, I screamed, scared, but it was like, and then going to penalties. Aiden Stokes got two big saves. The second one, it goes off his foot and then hits the post.
Let me ask you guys this: if MLS adopted the same format when the game goes into a draw and goes into penalty kicks, would you want to see that in the big league, or just simply stick it where it is, where it just ends in a draw, everybody goes home?
I'll let Nick answer first.
I'll take the draw for the season.
Yeah,
I hate the penalty shootout.
I don't. Yeah, well, that was part of friends of mine who were a little more of the tourists than I was back in the '90s. At the whole shootout thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I was like, even I was cringing at that. It was, I like it in hockey. I like to do the 5 minutes OT, and if nobody scores, then you go do the shootout. But it's good for the kids because you don't want to end games and you want the kids to have the opportunities. Plus, it doesn't hurt if you have 6 games or 8 games during the course of a season. With the penalties, they have the experience of taking them, and you have the keeper getting the experience of defending. So I think it serves as part of the training for the next pro teams. I don't want to see it come up to the first teams, though. I don't want to see MLS adopted as a rate.
All right. Let me just answer Divata's answer's question. If you missed it, I said it was day to day for Marcelo. They're trying to work his fitness with his sickness and everything else. They're really trying to be careful with this guy. They saw what blew up in their face with Lewis Morgan. They don't want to do that with this guy. He's much more important. He's brought in to help solidify the left side of that defense. So that's exactly what they're doing with him, and they're going to take me. Lisa, I understand you're going to be in Chicago for that game. That's another spot I would like to fly out there and everything. As far as the schedule for us, we got New England on Wednesday. We got Miami on Friday. Gotham FC, you're not going to see them until August 1st against Chicago Stars. They'll be on the road. New York Red Bull 2 will be home this Sunday versus NYCFC 2. I will be there to chronicle that game. United States men's team, September 6th against South Korea. No, not North Korea. I don't know if, Trump and his friends would be best buds with Il Jun. Yeah, we're not going to mention that anymore. So that's
forgot. We have to give a shout out to Lonray, his team.
Yes, he's out there styling and profiling like a proud peacock, and he should. His club, won the FIFA Club World Cup. They are the world champions of club football. Congrats to them. Congrats to the Lions, and congrats to all their fans around the world, especially Lonray, which I'm sure he's going to be insufferable throughout the entire European seat next week. I'm going to be hearing him, I'm going to be hearing him all mouthing in, which I'm going to reach out and smack him. But but yeah, congratulations out there. So the only marring point was a certain president wouldn't leave the stage when the trophy was presented.
And he thought that Chelsea was from New York.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. Let's talk.
Let's talk about intelligent people.
Yeah. Moving on. Let's talk about predictions. Okay, boys. What do you got for Wednesday night? Gotta happen. I don't like to use cliches like must wins and everything. Look. 3 points is a must here.
We need to win.
We need to win.
I'm going to say 3-1 for Wednesday.
3-1? You're going to score that many goals against that defense?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We've seen
For the
stranger
record,
things.
3-1. I don't doubt you. I mean,
Listen, my wife's coming out to the game with me. It's a rarity that her and I get to go together. It's a Wednesday night. Uh, let's see a goal fest. You know,
all
why
right,
not?
all right.
I surely could use some fun. It's not every day I get to take her there. Why shouldn't we see some goals? So I'm going with 3-1.
Nick, what's your final score?
I'm going with 2-0 us.
2-0 us?
I don't know why. I'm praying that it happens. I won't be there.
Oh,
Oh,
I won't be there. Yeah, I'm working at
stop
4.
by if you were coming by, but
I'll be there Saturday.
I got
we
a full.
be there Saturday. So
I got a full busy week. I got Wednesday, I got Friday. No, excuse me. I got Wednesday, I got Saturday, and I got Sunday before I start my vacation with New York Red Bull 2. I'm gonna start with me. I'm gonna say 2-1 us. It's gonna be a tight rock fight between these two teams. They're pretty. A lot of people look at them and say, don't look at the home schedule and don't look where they are. Don't let them fool you. They're a very good road team. Okay. And they ain't afraid to come up on here to cause some problems. I think this is going to be one of the most intriguing matches for the season. And as for Miami, well, that's when the good times end. I'm going to say 4-0 Miami. What say you?
Youch. Ooh, I'm gonna go.
They haven't shown me, and the reason why I'm saying this is they haven't shown me that they can take on the big boys, okay, and stare them down. That's going to be one of the, forget New England, okay? New England's going to be a very tough matchup.
Right.
Miami's going to be worse, okay?
I'm hoping what happened 2 years ago happens again. We get a nice rainy day. They decide to leave Messi on the sideline, not have him out there, and I say we're going to 4-3 slugfest.
4-3 slugfest.
4-3.
All right, Nick, your turn.
Okay. I have a feeling Miami's going to punt this game.
What?
I have a feeling that Miami is going to, because they're playing Cincinnati on Wednesday on the road, and this is a perfect game for them to go, rest everybody. You won't be surprised if you see this. I have a feeling. I'm just going with the feeling. I have a feeling that they're going to go, we've been to New York. We don't like it. We're going to pump this game. Let's go back home because we have a home game after this on Saturday.
So they're going to punt Saturday.
Punt on Saturday, and somehow or another, it will still be a 1-1 draw. Still be a 1-1 draw.
That's quite a spread.
I just don't.
I'm looking for a 6-point sweep this week. They need this, okay? This is for the hearts and minds, boys and girls. Like I said, and I want to say this to Gina out there. The fans ain't got to do anything. You don't have to do nothing. This is on the organization. This is on the players. This is on the coach. After that goose egg that they had to swallow up in Chester, they need to do. They need to make this right. Okay, they really do. I would be disappointed immensely if they don't get at least a win. You don't get at least a win out of it. If I see a draw versus New England, I'm going to fight someone. I'm serious, I'm going to fight someone. If I see a draw against Miami, I won't be surprised. Okay, but I guess Messi's going to show up. People are paying all the top dollar just to see this guy score a goal, and then once he gets on the bench, so everybody starts disappearing. That's basically how it went out there, and everything else. So we have reached the end of our show. Episode 151 is done and dusted. Remember, boys and girls, you can actually catch our show in its entirety on our YouTube channel. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And, of course, if you have any questions about everything about the show, including our bold predictions, reach out to us in our email, rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. We'd be very happy to read your emails, of course, hopefully on our next show. Next week, Lanre La Champion will be back, as well as Miguel Nunez, as we wrap up the week that was before we preview Chicago, and then we go into Leagues Cup action. For those guys who joined us during the live stream, thanks a lot for joining us on the last hour. Always glad to hear from you guys and your input and everything else. We'll see you guys next week. We thank you guys so much for your not only for your contribution, but your support as well from the group. So that's it, boys and girls. We are done here. For Nick Lianos and Mark Coates, I'm Gary Redmond. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Until then, goodbye